Hello, you beautiful people, and welcome to Rule the Waves. Now, this has been recorded in a window due to how the game actually runs. Anyway, but yes, Rule the Waves, Naval Arms Races and Naval Battles 1900 to 1920. This game is by no means finished, I want you guys to know. I can't remember the exact version, I think it's version... Oh god, I can't remember the version date right now. But anyway, it is not finished, but we are going to give it a good look at. I do enjoy this game, actually. I think it's really fantastic in the term of concept and execution. Obviously, this will improve and expand as the game develops and obviously matures in development. Right, who will we play? There's some interesting nations, of course. We even have the USA and Japan. The Confederate States of America, which have been quite amusing with all the hoo-ha about the flag lately. Or Spain. But in all honesty, who to pick, indeed? Let's take a look here. Historical naval budget of 10 million, 10 million, 16, 40, goddamn Britain. Obviously, Austro-Hungarian Empire, well, the Austro-Hungarian Empire is one of the poorest great powers. It's basically the poorest great power in terms of naval budget. It didn't really have too much of a need for a navy, so you can kind of give them that. Interestingly enough, that we do have a, well, if we were to play Austria, we'd have a research advantage in torpedo technology. And triple turrets, which is actually quite interesting. I don't know if we start with this or not, but that's very interesting. That could lead to some very good firepower, especially early on. So you know what, I think we're going to give Austria-Hungary a go. By no means will this campaign be a success, I'm not entirely sure. I'm fairly, well, I'm pretty damn new to the game, and obviously things may go wrong, and yeah. Now basically, manual build of a legacy fleet. Basically the legacy fleet is a fleet that you start with, which is quite good. I could turn that off, and I'm not too sure whether we'd have some ships or not, I'm not too sure. But with the manual build of a legacy fleet, we can design our own ships to be ready for when we start the game, which is quite interesting in my opinion. The historical resources, so we're not going to gain like random amounts of budget or something. We're not going to start with, I don't know, we're not going to have the budget of the United Kingdom or the British Empire, you know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. So I'm going to select this here to start a new game. And so the game begins. Now Austria-Hungary. It's going to be some interesting design principles that we're going to have to take into consideration, and I've just made this window just ever so too big. Bugger. Okay, just give me one moment, guys. Damn it. Never mind, okay, sorted now. It was just an issue on my end, apparently. Oh dear, I've made the window too small. I'm so terrible at this. God damn, I'm so not used to using Bandicam. Oh, that'll bloody do. And I've just made it worse myself. Right, yo. I was gonna have to. I wonder if you guys can see this. I hope not, but anyway. Right, I'm going to have to be very careful when I click. So anyway, ignore all that. Nothing happened. You didn't see anything unprofessional. No, no, no. Nothing happened ever. I am the perfect commentator. I am your god. Right, there we go. Excuse me. So, obviously, we are the Austro-Hungarian Empire. We are here, which is interesting that it does model the different nationalities, which is interesting. Anyway, the year is, well, it's 1900, the turn of a century. So, obviously, we are the weakest, I said, well, but not the weakest. I'd say Spain or the Confederate States of America. Well, the CSA would obviously be weaker. But basically, we're not out there. We don't have any colonies, unlike Germany or the other nations, which is quite disappointing. Even Spain has colonies. They have, actually, no, Spain actually modelled in this? Oh, that's interesting. That is very interesting. So, Spain actually being directly played, they're not modelled. That's quite interesting. I imagine in the future they probably will be. Right then. So, as Austro-Hungarian Empire, we are in the Mediterranean, which is interesting. And it's both very good for us and very bad for other people, depending on the size of our fleet. Now, basically, taking into consideration the British Empire has all of these colonies all over the world to protect at all times. They can't just simply have one area to defend like we do. So that's an advantage for us as much as it's a handicap for us. So with that with that theology, I'll go with theology in mind. We're going to go for some very, some ships that pack a punch, but aren't too costly, so we can maintain quite a few of them. As obviously we're not going to be as rich as other nations. So, I want to take into consideration. I want to check if we do have the triple turrets, which, if we do, would be fantastic. Oh, triple turrets, not research. My ass. You lied to me, game. You lied to me. But anyway, let's take into consideration. We're going to build at a local shipyard. Yes, we shall. What is the design parameters for our battleship? Let's think of a good name, actually. We'll go with the Vienna. We'll go with the Vienna class, actually. The Vienna class. I think that sounds quite nice. Right. So the Vienna class. I believe we have the access to 11-inch guns. I'm not too sure. The larger caliber guns will become available as technology dictates. So, let's see. Freeboard normal, that's fair enough. That obviously affects the ship's performance in, stormy season, etc. So, let's think about this. We're going to go with a forward and aft turret, of course. We'll go with the double turrets. We have like 4 barrels, obviously. There we go, modelled that there on the actual ship itself. 6-inch caliber secondary guns and casemate. Now, looking at this already, we're going to have to increase either the size of the ship or, tone back on the armour. Which is probably a better idea. So shaving 0.5 deck armour does save us quite a lot of space, actually. Also lowering the speed of the ship, but I don't think that's really in our interests. So we'll increase the displacement of the actual ship to... we'll go for 11,000 tons. And that might be... excuse me. That may be a good middle ground. Potentially, who knows. Right then. So we want to have more ammunition, of course. Increase this to 250 shells. So you can already see that this amount of tonnage we saved is obviously not too much. So what can we do with this remaining space? We could, of course, add more. Oh, no, we can't. Let's see. So if we were to use single turrets, this is how it would appear. How about double turrets? Then again, it saves a good amount of weight, but we really don't have that many guns. So I think we might have to increase the displacement even higher. Which pains me quite a lot, actually. So maybe that's not a good idea. We want to be able to afford this ship. So I think we're going to go for 10,000 tons. We're going to make this ship work within 10,000 tons. I want a ship that has a good amount of punch, but it's also going to be maintained. That will be able to maintain the ship itself. So we need to find ourselves 400 tons of space. This ship is overweight, yes, we do know this, my good friend. Okay. So, casemate guns. There we go. We could cut the actual size of the caliber of the guns, but that would decrease the amount of firepower. But then again, it would make the ship cheaper. That's what I want to try and do. I want a cheap battleship, and I want to mass produce them as much as absolutely bloody possible. So let's see. These secondaries, I'm not entirely sure if this is particularly needed. These guns are well, these are casemate guns. I will actually, if I can find Google, I will show you an example of a casemate gun. Um, I'll tell you what, it's pretty swanky being able to do this, you know what I mean? Like, just do something on the other screen and have this still recording, so yeah. Ooh, spooky! Oh dear. Okay, let me open this up for you guys. And here we go. Okay, I'll just make that a little bit smaller. Come on, label. Right, so this here is an example of a casemate gun. The gun itself is within the hull of the actual ship. It's obviously armoured with the belt. So this is, of course, a good example. It's a good picture to show you, otherwise it would have been kind of hard to explain it. But that's a casemate gun. So I don't know whether this secondary armour will indeed cover them. Now let's see, if we were to take off the secondary armour, we could save quite a good amount of weight. So apparently it does affect the weight of the secondary guns. Yeah, we can see that here. But the thing is, if they're within the ship, I believe the belt and the belt extended armour will help as well. So we'll go for a bit of middle ground. Then again, if we've saved that much weight, we could afford another 2 guns. Now what would you guys say? Another 2 6-inch guns? Or, I don't know, 3 inches of armour, or millimeters of armour. Obviously the armour is fantastic and brilliant, of course, but, well, then again, we can also take away from the speed. 18 knots is not bad. It's terribly slow, but it's not too bad. So maybe we want to add some armour back. We could take that to 3... Oh god, I'm going up here. We could take that to 2.5, and we'd be within our design specifications. We have 4 tons remaining. We have full ammunition, which is fantastic. We have 12 6-inch caliber secondary guns. We are 3,000 tons under our local yards maximum build at the moment. So that's good. That's good. Hopefully this ship will be fairly cheap. So what we'll do here is we check here. This ship has short range, which might limit its operational usefulness. That is obviously true, so let's take a look. If we were to increase this to medium range, we can see that we've gained quite a few tons here. Now what could we do? We could change some of these around, actually. So if we change this to reliability, that would make the machinery heavier, which is something we don't want. No, I'm not going to change my mind on this. This is an early battleship. We don't need to go far. We are already in the Mediterranean. Where else do we need to go? So that's good. Okay, so we'll click OK. And we shall save this. Yes, I want to save this. The Vienna class. Now, the Vienna class is 33,903,000 Reichsmarks? I can't remember the name of the Austro-Hungarian currency, and it really irritates me right now. But maybe in the future I'll remember, or if somebody wants to be a smart ass and comment. Right, so for 101 million, we can gain ourselves 3 battleships, which is good. A maintenance cost of 155,000, which is very cheap. So maybe... I mean, we could go for 5. We could go for 5 ships. That would cost 169 million, but we have 252 million with which to construct some cruisers or some destroyers, obviously both. But I think what I will do is I will go for... It's hard to decide, isn't it? I think I'll go big, and I'll go with 5 battleships to start with. So we have 5 of the Vienna class. Now you can see the year they were constructed is apparently 1899. This basically represents the legacy fleet. So our maintenance so far is 855,000. Our monthly balance would be 3,999,000. Our total funds remaining here. We have yet to do the other things. So I'm going to put up the intelligence on the Italians. We're going to put up intelligence on all the other nations here. This will come into play later in the game. Now, obviously, each time we do that, it costs us 70,000, so you can see this is already going down. So let's see. We have some more ships to design. So we're going to go with a cruiser, I believe. We're going to go for a fast cruiser capable of raiding, I believe. Right then. Okay, I want you to auto-design. Right, there we go. The Admiral Spawn. Okay. So, it is a decently quick ship, which is obviously quite good. What do we have? We have 6-inch guns. But I don't want all of these guns all over. I would rather have... I mean, we have 6-inch guns. We might as well have these as secondary guns and have some maybe larger primary guns. Maybe 7 inches, who knows? Right, so we'll update the ship's graphics there. Now let's see, if we were to add double turrets to the forward and aft. There we go. And then if we can increase that to... What is the maximum, actually? Ship is overgun. A displacement of 5,500 tons is recommended for 8-inch guns. Okay, we'll check again. Displacement of 5,000 is recommended for 7-inch guns. Well, that's doable. We can increase this to 5,000 tons displacement. Bear in mind that our battleship is only 10,000 tons. So you can definitely see that this is a very pocket-sized battleship, more or less, with all the armour and the large guns, of course. So, that's bought us some extra tonnage to play with. We have larger guns. We have some, well, we have 4 7-inch guns, which is good. Now, what I shall do is I shall increase this to 6-inch. There we go. So we now have quite a few of these. What would it take to gain another knot of speed? Well, we could reduce this back down. So basically we'd have, we'd have 6 6-inch guns, 4 7-inch guns, but we would move at 23 knots. Now, that's not really worth it, in my opinion. So we'll go back down to 22 knots, and we'll add more guns, which I think is very much worth it. You can see the ship is bristling with guns now, which is obviously fantastic to take into consideration. So, the range is another consideration we need to take into account of. Do we need a ship that's going to travel the length of the planet? No ship can do that at this time. Obviously, we do not. The battleships are mainly to cover our home theatre, so they're okay with a short range. A medium range, I think, is the best for us. So I think what we need to do is we need to shave some weight off, potentially. Well, then again, we also need to take into account of the amount of ammunition. So I think what we'll do is, we'll, then again, how much ammunition could we get, and how much would another gun? Right. Okay. So for 12 6-inch guns and 180 rounds per... Well, actually no, we're overweight here, aren't we? Oh dear. Freeboard. Engine priority. Reliability could be quite good, actually. So I think we might increase this to... Well, I don't want to go to 550... Well, 5,500 tons. That's a little extreme. So we'll go to 5,300 tons. It's an odd tonnage, of course. But basically, with that, we can get full ammunition for the ship itself. We still have the 22 knot speed. We have 12 secondary guns, which is obviously great. And we have the range and reliability, which is fantastic. So we've called this the Admiral Spawn class. Right, too many guns. Main gun less than 9 inch. Okay, too many heavy secondary guns, apparently. Well, this is all good now. Actually, then again, we've taken these guns off. So what should we do with this? We could lower the displacement to obviously take into account of this, so the ship is not as large, and therefore not as costly. Okay, I'm happy with this, I'm happy with this. Fantastic. Right then, so that is our second ship designed. So, what do we need now then, I hear you ask from across the room? Basically, we need a, destroyer. I would be tempted to design another type of light cruiser, but to be honest, that would be going into heavy cruiser territory. And in all honesty, the battleships of the Vienna class will cover our needs. I don't think we really have a need for a heavy cruiser as such. So, excuse me. Right then. So these cruisers are 19 million. They are actually these battleships. You can see how cheap these battleships are in comparison. So let's see. We're gonna go and Then again, I mean, maybe we build too many battleships. Maybe we just I don't know. But you know, I don't think I'm going to purchase a light cruiser to begin with. I think I'm going to design a destroyer and see what we have left over actually. So, okay, the Panther class. These destroyers are tiny. There's obviously not much to them. They're short and cramped, and yeah, they're not nice to be on. The displacement of the ship is tiny. So you know what, we're going to go ahead and we're just going to take this. We're going to take the Panther. There we go. Actually, then again, accommodation. Well, we could have the accommodation there, so that's alright. Medium range, which only costs us 2 knots. Well, 2 tons. So I'm happy with that. We can take some of the ammunition from the guns. Or not. It's some very, very light ammunition. Excuse me. Okay. There we go. These destroyers, they're not exactly going to be doing any good shooting, so it really doesn't matter. Oh, okay. Actually, could we have a 4-inch gun? We could. So have a 4-inch gun instead. Oh, be afraid, Germany. Okay, so we'll save that as a Panther class. There we go. And we'll build a few Panthers. These are only a million, well, 1.6 million each. So we'll go with 10 destroyers. Hopefully we'll have enough. Well, we have 66 million. So we'll go with 2 Admiral spawns. There we go. And with that we have 39 million. And, well, we spent 39 million, we have 26 million remaining. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I'm going to increase the size of my docks so I can build larger ships in the future. Okay. So, there we go, we have finished building our initial fleet. I don't really need to do this. There we go. I'm sorry for the coughing, my throat is really terrible at the moment. Right then, so now we enter into the game properly. So what we're going to do is we're going to assign more cash to our research budget. And there we go, and we're going to set some priorities. So I'll set these naval guns as a high priority as I do need them. Submarines should be a high priority. Turrets and gun mountains. And let's see, armoured piercing projectiles. For now anyway, just a few priorities. So this is the world then. What do we want to do? Well, there isn't too much for us to be doing right now. So we have, let's see, in service we have 5 battleships, of which I am extremely proud of. Our maintenance is 1.1 billion, so that's fair enough. So these ships are available to us, and we can do with them as I wish. But the thing is, there's not too much to be done right now. So what we could do is we could mothball the battleship to save cash, which is interesting, and I think I will do that. Right, so now they've gone from 155,000 and our maintenance has been cut in half, so we're going to be making some good cash, which is fantastic, which we can spend on some enhanced training, I do believe. So let's go for the... let's go for gunnery training. There we go. Actually, what I will do is I'll have 2 2 battleships active, just in case. So we'll activate these ships. Okay, yep, activated. So, right, good. Okay. Right then. And we'll go back to the map. You can see the other ships that other nations are putting down, which is fantastic. A colonial crisis with France has arisen. You were asked for recommendations. What is your advice to the government? We must safeguard our interests, and if it leads to war, we are prepared to fight it. We have good relations with France right now. Well, this is the tension bar. If the tension reaches above here, it is war, and it will be deadly. It will be costly, sorry. It would be best to avoid a war right now, but prepare for future conflicts by strengthening the navy, which is quite good. We basically increase tension a slight bit, but we also gain more budget. Which I've done for... It's increased the tension a little bit, but it's increased our budget quite nicely, which I'm happy about. It's good for me, good for all of us. Excuse me. Right then. So as the game obviously progresses, things will definitely come up like that. I do believe we will face Italy, probably in the future. Or at least I'd like to fight Italy, as they would be, well, they're very close by and I'd like to take these possessions. That would be good for us. Okay, so then, what do? We basically have some spare cash. So maybe we want to put two cruisers into production. That would cost us actually too much right now, so we're going to wait. And there we go, increasing our cash. Once again, our scientists report that they have hit a dead end in their efforts to figure out the concept of a DD up to 600 tons displacement. Unfortunate, with tensions low, Parliament reduces... Oh, you bastards. So we've had our budget cut a little bit, which is a shame, but it's still more than what we were making earlier, so that's good. Right, we do need to spend this cash, as the government will take it away from us if we are not using it. So that's something that we need to take into consideration. Then again, let's take a look. We could actually afford another Vienna class. And honestly, I think another Vienna class would be quite useful, but obviously the maintenance cost is quite outrageous. But then again, I see out. We could probably do with redesign this cruiser. We could do with probably a smaller cruiser, potentially. Which, you know what, I think I'm going to go in, I'm going to design a smaller cruiser. Maybe that one is just too much. Maybe just too much. Right. Oh, God. The only issue is with me recording quite a few episodes a day is it aggravates my throat and dries my throat out, so I tend to cough quite a lot. The Navara. And that's good for me. Right, so we're going to make a ship of this weight. That's fine. Let's check this. 3,100 tons. Range is long, which is interesting. Very interesting. Basically, this could be a raider. Let's see. If we were to decrease this to medium range, it would save quite a few tons, actually, there, which is quite interesting. And with that range saved, we could increase the size of these guns to 6-inch, which is very interesting. There we go. So we've increased the size of these guns to 6-inch guns, which is fantastic, actually. Right. We'll increase the displacement by another 100 so we can gain more ammunition. We'll go to probably 300. There we go. That'll do. Okay. 215 rounds per gun. That's pretty good. So we have quite a number, actually. How many do we actually have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 guns here. Which is quite interesting. Unless I probably discounted that. Probably have. I'm kinda crap at that. When you're recording, your maths tends to become shit. So anyway, we have 11 or 12 6-inch guns, which is obviously a hell of a lot better. We've decreased the range to medium, which is fine by me. We've increased the ship's displacement by 200 tons, but with that we've gained quite a considerable amount of, firepower. The range of 9,800, 5,000 effective range, blah, 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 blah. But yes, right, let's check out this. Yep, all okay, fantastic. So we'll put the Navara into production. Now, how much would the Navara cost us? 12 million. So you can definitely see we're saving quite a lot here. So we'll put some Navaras into production. We can afford 3 right now. It does cost you extra for putting a new ship class into development and production. So there we go, we have 3 Navaras laid down with tensions low power. Yep, see, this is what I'm talking about. So it's a good thing that we did that. Okay, intelligence reports a new ship under construction of a class of light cruiser. Oleg has a belt of armor of 2 inches. Heavy cruiser Razia has a belt armor of 5 inches and turret armor of 5 inches, which is quite heavy armor for a cruiser. Our relations with France have taken a sudden turn. Okay. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate my other battleships, because I don't want to be caught with my pants down, especially as France is quite powerful, and they will have a good navy. So I'm going to activate these ships and bring them to the fleet. There we go. Training for these ships will progress. We might put... Then again, we'll see what happens. I do not like this tension, however, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to decrease the intel efforts against France, so we can find out more about the enemy, which is good, obviously. Right, okay. Construction. Obviously, we are spending quite a lot on building these ships. So, what does France have in the vicinity? 1 light cruiser and 13 destroyers. Well, we have more battleships than they do at the moment, in this theatre, that is. In their home theatre, they have 4 battleships, 2 heavy cruisers, 4 light cruisers, and 15 destroyers. So we're very much outnumbered, so I really do not want war with France. That would be really nice to avoid. So let's see. Maybe we want to build another battleship. Who knows? Excuse me. Obviously, new technology will come across as the game develops. But honestly, these cheap battleships are pretty damn good. Let's put our monthly balance down, but 3 light cruisers and another Vienna class I think will be worth it. So, okay. New training applied, cruiser now deemed proficient in new tactics. Our docks have been completed, fantastic, so we can build larger ships, which is obviously great for us. After a naval visit by Italy, you are asked by journalists to comment on the visiting ships. We're impressed by their well-built and advanced ships with smart-looking crews and dashing intelligent officers. Well, we could basically kiss ours. That would lower tensions, but it would lower our prestige. Now, I don't know particularly what prestige affects right now, but maybe in the future we'll find out. We are happy to have hosted these fine ships with a friendly crews, which we will do because I don't want to lose anything, but I don't want to increase tension. Our scientists made unexpected advances in machine development. Great, 1% weight saving on that machinery. That's great for us. So we're looking at 25 months. Let's see, can I make this larger? Look off description. There we go. Good. Right, so we have 25 months on the Vienna class construction. Our top spies managed to get hold of blueprints from the new French ship of the Kolberg class. I would very much like to take a look at this. So basically, you can get intelligence of other nations' ships like this, and it'll tell you their guns, well, not exactly, but as well as their armor. So this is a very heavily armored ship with 10-inch belt, which is very impressive. It's pretty scary. A 12,800 ton Kolberg class, speed of 19 knots. So their guns are 4 to 12 inch. These don't look huge. Maybe 11 inch or 10 inch guns. I'm not too sure. The only issue is I don't know exactly about this, but this armor scares me. Not much deck armor, but a lot of belt armor is pretty terrifying to me. And they have a heavy cruiser. Rumored to have 8 main guns. So there's a lot to this game. I honestly really enjoy this game, and I'm looking forward to the future development of it, and I hope you guys are as well. Okay. 1% saving on armor, fantastic. Actually I'm going to prioritize armor, not trading. Right. Research, armor development, high. I wish I could put more into the research, but oh well. Okay. The British government is offering the rights to sell as a pressure hull for 2 million. We have the funds, so I think we'll do that. Some technologies you cannot research, and you have to buy from other nations, so we can do this. Pressure hull, 5% increase of submarine reliability, which is good. Okay. I'm scared about this, to be honest. The British government is offering to sell us the rights to the cockpit and safety valve for 3 million. Once again, I will accept this as I want this. Right, yes. 1% saving on machinery. Fantastic. Now, you can edit ships as they are being built, I do believe. You can halt construction, resume construction, which is good. Obviously, you can stop paying for these ships as it does cost you. Or I could accelerate the construction, which I imagine costs a hell of a lot. Yeah, okay, so it shaves off 2 months, but increases the cost by another 200,000. Which I could deal with that, but I don't really want to. Okay. The British government... Bloody hell, Britain. Thank you for all this technology. Usually you don't get that much technology, so that's quite a boom for us. France is set to increase the naval budget. Okay. Oh dear. Right, enables building of destroyers up to 600 tons. Fantastic. Enables building of coastal submarines. Oh my god, that's really bloody important. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to build quite a few submarines. These guys are fantastic. Right, so we're going to go ahead and try and build 10 of them. They are pretty... well, they're fairly cheap, honestly. They're only 100,000. But we're going to get them out early. They will be definitely helpful. Tension is lowering slowly, but surely, which is great. Reports new ship under construction. Oh dear, 12-inch main guns. So the French are, oh bloody hell, make him a national hero. Prestige but tension. Denying the involvement lowers our prestige, but this tension is incredibly bad. Honestly, I'm really kind of worried about this. I think this could end up in war, and it will end up badly. Enable secondary guns heavier than 7 inches. Fantastic. I'm really scared about this, actually. Really scared about this. Although I may accelerate the construction of the Vienna class. Good, so we've got our new light ships. A new government wants to reduce naval spending in favour of social programs. What is your comment? Get the Naval League to protest. You're only an admiral and and the politicians are in charge. Trying to get the... I can't do that. If I do that, that will lead to war, so we're going to have to take this. Okay. Good. So they've been commissioned into the Navy. Right, so we now have these light cruisers in service, which is fantastic. I'm really not happy. I need more ships. I can't go to war with France. Ah, dear. Yeah. Having to worry about this tension is a very interesting mechanic. I'm glad it's kind of happened as I get to show you. Oh, basically the working up is basically the training is completed, the crewing, etc., and the ship has been tested. The Kaiser floats the idea of trying to improve relations with France by making some compromise on outstanding issues. What's your response? Yes, this is a good idea to lower tensions. Well, that's good. That saved us a little bit, actually. Good go, Kaiser. Right, so the 3 light cruisers are up to scratch. Eccentric scientist of doubtful repute offers to sell his latest invention to tourism. Yes, I'm going to go for it. Okay. What it could potentially give us, I don't know. Excuse me. A scandal involving some important dignitaries from Russia has occurred at a party on a world cruise by one of your ships. How would you handle this? Use it to embarrass Russia. That would increase the tension with Russia, which I'm not looking for. We can hush it up, that's good. Gradual increase in shell damage, fantastic. We need heavier... Ooh, oil has been discovered in the Caroline Islands. The invention of the eccentric scientist has proven to be some marginal valuable. Oh, well, that's quite good then. The Kaiser's asking if you can guarantee... Oh, Jesus Christ. Not without additional funding, of course. That's good, so that's getting some funding. Admiral to face an inquiry. Many people in naval circles express their doubts about your leadership. If the prestige sinks any further, you are being... Oh, bloody hell. Oh, dear. If he goes any lower, I could be replaced. Okay. We're on thin ice here. Okay. Right. We have commissioned these submarines, fantastic. Just in the nick of time. It appears that we have the smallest total battleship tonnage. Oh, god damn it. Okay. We need some prestige. We need it now. Okay, so these are ready, of course, which is fantastic. Maintenance is increasing. The construction cost will be gone soon, which is nice. Ah, that's really not fair. Right, good. The Russian government is interested in buying the rights to the periscope for 4.8 million. We're going to sell that, actually. Then we can use that to build some more ships, as we're going to bloody need them. We'll design a new destroyer, I do believe. But then again, what guns do we have? Do we have any larger guns? No, we only have the 11-inch gun, which is really fucking killing me right now. Build ship. Hmm, design ship, sorry. Design a new destroyer, potentially. Ah, bloody hell. Increase the displacement to 600. Increase that. Right. Maybe some more. Hmm. Oh, that came out weird, didn't it? uh, okay. Actually, no, get rid of that. Maybe add some more guns, potentially. Nah, that's not too useful, is it? We'll try and increase the speed. Right, okay. 29 knots is quite good. Okay, all okay. This will be known as a Python class, which is an interesting name. Right, so these are 2 million. So, how much is that compared? It's only 400,000 more than our other ships, which is something to take note of. But then again, I'd obviously love to build another Vienna class. But, I don't know. Hmm. Maybe we should design a new battleship. Let's see. Right, a battleship. I need bigger guns. I'm sorry, but I need bigger guns. Maybe we should go for a 15,000. It will be incredibly expensive for us, but we need a really strong ship. That is something we need. Okay, so we'll go for a double turret on the aft. Right, so these are 11-inch guns. We can't build any larger guns. But basically, this is our answer to the French Colbert class, as I'm very much worried about it. Okay, so this is obviously a large ship. Displacement of 15,000 tons. We can go with the normal ship compartment. How much would increase in this armor cost? Okay, so we could actually go for the same amount of armor as the Colbert class, which is interesting. We would have more deck armor, so this is definitely a more... Oh, that's a belt attendant armor. Oh well. Okay, and we would have heavier deck armor as well. And we have some very large secondary guns, actually, so... There we go. So we'd have 12 8-inch secondary guns, which is something to take into consideration. And some tertiary 3-inch guns. Okay. The Budapest class sounds pretty cool to me. Interesting. We can't actually build secondary guns that large, apparently. Which is okay, that saves us some weight, actually. So... let's use that way. Add some more guns like that. So this is our heaviest ship that we produce, and obviously I do not expect this to be cheap. This is not going to be a cheap ship by any means. Does a battleship even need torpedoes? I honestly don't see the need for torpedoes. Deck extended. We could almost afford that. Maybe we should try and afford that. That'd probably do us some good. Actually, if we get rid of the tertiary guns, we can have more armor, which I think is quite worth it. So we'd have 8 double-barreled 6-inch guns, which is quite good. Well, we have 16 of them in total, and obviously the 4 main 11-inch guns. But we have the armor of the Colbert, and we have more deck armor. We have twice the deck armor of the Colbert class, and that's something to take into consideration. I can tell you that one. Increase the conning tower just a little bit more. So that will do me. Okay. How do we go? This ship is short range, I don't mind. Right, so this will be the Budapest class. And it's actually not that expensive. That's actually not that expensive. I can afford a Budapest class. Fantastic. So we'll put a Budapest class into production. There we go. So we have our first Budapest class in production. Now this is 5,000 tons heavier. Oh god. Fuck me. Well, that was unfortunate. I believe we will definitely play another game. That was just the RNG of the game and me trying to avoid war with France so I could try and get something going. But I believe again we will play Austria-Hungary. And yes, let me know what you guys thought of that game and if you'd like to see more. Obviously this game is in early production and it is not representative of the final product. So that's something to take into account. So remember guys, if you enjoyed this, you can always go ahead and support me by liking, favoriting and subscribing and all that crap. As I am trying to get 1,000 subscribers this year, as that would be my bloody amazing goal. And also, if you guys could follow me on Twitter, that would be fantastic. So from me to you, and wherever you are, whatever you're doing, have a fantastic day. And until next time, guys, have a great day.